Now that we have introduced all the concepts that we have in Tango, I will start with a description of the panic alarm system. First of all, we will go to a definition of what is an alarm system. Then we will explain what is panic in this context. And we will do a first exercise that is contacting with the applications, see more or less which widgets and functionalities we have and how it works. Later on, we will continue with the rest of exercises, exploring more features. So starting with an alarm system. In the case of panic, some years ago, we decided to adopt the IC 62682 standard for the management of alarm in the process industries. Following this standard, it helps to clarify what is the function of the alarm system and what it does and how it is done. The primary function of the alarm system will be always to notify abnormal process conditions or equipment malfunctions and support the operator response. So it clarifies that it's a way of notifying and helping the operator, but it's not a protection system. We have the equipment protection system and the personal protection system that are managed by PLCs that are safe systems that are capable of managing all the protection, being independent of the rest of the infrastructure. In the case of panic, it's more a notification systems that will notify you and can execute some actions to help you react to a malfunction of the system. But it's not a protection system, it's part of the operator response. Then going exactly what is panic, so it's an alarm system based on this standard. It was developed in 2008 while we were doing the first installation of ALBA. It was used it was used during the bakeouts of the initial vacuum chambers of ALBA and also during the Linux commission. The main block of panic is SPY alarm. That's a formula evaluator. We write a formula. You can see here in the screen the formula. The formulas are quite simple. So we compare here a temperature using the Tango naming to a set point, and whenever the temperature is above the set point, we will trigger an alarm. So this was the initial idea of panic. At the beginning, it was simply sending an email whenever there was a change in the conditions, and then we have been adding new layers and new functionalities to the system. Currently at ALBA, we have, this number, I think it got old, so we set here 1,200 alarms. I think actually we are more around 2,000 alarms in total, in 28 different tango control systems, because we control accelerators, beamlines, laboratories, infrastructures, and other facilities. And we use it to check many different attributes in periods between 500 milliseconds and 4 hours. It is also being used by other institutes in the Tango community. ESRF, Max4, Soleil, Solaris, SKO, that is a telescope, and other different institutes. This is the panic alarm cycle. So these states, it's the name of the states as are defined by the standard. So I know that some of the states, we have to get familiarized with it. The advantage of using these names is that if we buy in the future some other tools that should work also as alarm systems, in principle, following the standard, the names of the states should be the same. So explaining a bit the cycle, we have here, you can see that my cursor in the screen, isn't it? Yes. We have the formula, and we have an activation period. It will depend on the polling period, how often we check the formula, and an alarm threshold. That is, let's say, to put a limit to avoid oscillations in the state. When the alarm is enabled, so the temperature is above the set point, the first state we will see is a NAC. It means not acknowledged. So the alarm is active, but nobody has acknowledged yet. We have an intermediate state to detect that once an alarm is active, all these states that appear in orange means that the alarm is active. We may have oscillations. This will be the state return to normal, RT. So even if an alarm is ANAC, return to normal, or ANAC again, it is oscillating, but the alarm is still active. Of course, the most important state is not acknowledged, ANAC. If an operator using the panic user interface has already seen the alarm and starts an action, then the alarm can go to the acknowledge state. It means that the no reminders are sent, and anybody entering the user interface of Panic can see that somebody is already working on it. After all, once the operator has solved the problem or the situation has returned to normal by its own, we'll have the normal state. It may happen either by the user operator doing reset from the application, or it may happen by an alarm that has gone to return to normal, and after a given amount of period that we call the auto reset, it goes to normal on its own. Then we have other different states that we see here on the left side. The shelf state means disabled. If you are in shutdown or you are doing a specific test and you know that there will be temperature or pressure alarms, you can disable. This is we use shelf. Disabling an alarm is something that you can do from the user interface, and it's a temporary state. It's something that you can enable and disable, but if we do a full reset of the systems, all the disables are erased and everything is enabled again. A different condition is designed by process, suppressed by process condition. It's state in gray. In this case, we can have a condition in the control system that automatically disables alarms for a given reason. We use that typically to disable all alarms when there has been a general reboot of the system. So if we are coming after a power cut, we don't check alarms for a while, because if not, everything will be rise at the same time. Out of service and error mean respectively either that the panic system is not running or that the alarms have there is a problem in the formula and cannot be evaluated. This is a brief explanation. So in the panic architecture, we will have the alarm evaluators. There is a Tango device server dedicated to read all the formulas, evaluate it, and calculate its state. Notification services. There are other Tango devices that are in charge of sending SMS or email or Telegram messages or any other kind of notification. The user interface that you will use during this training. And then we have the configuration, logging, and API that are the tools that we use as control engineers to set up the system. A bit explained here. This is quite technical, but basically what we will have is the control system. We have Tango control system, so everything will be Tango devices. We have all graph or calculators that we can have different numbers of them. Typically in the business we have 3-4 calculators. In the machine we have near 100. They will calculate all the formulas, reading the formulas from the Tango database and evaluating periodically. And then we will have the login system. As you have seen in Tango, we have different tools for configuring the system. We have the Jive and Astor that have been designed by Uridol. In our case, we will have the alarm user interface, the panic application. In using this panic application, you don't have to see all this complexity, you just manage your system. But what is important to know now is that when you, in the panic user interface, are changing the device, basically what you're doing is choosing different calculators, formulas evaluators. We have different processes doing the evaluation. You can tune each of these processes independently. So put in different activation times, different error conditions, and then you can choose how to evaluate the alarms depending on that. And now we'll go to practical learning exercises. So it's time to start properly with the training. The first exercise that we will do is a first contact with panic. So what we will do is first we will log to a controls machine. There we will see how the panic user interface looks like, information it shows, how the alarms look like, and what actions can be done. So the idea of the first contact with panic is that you will learn how to connect to a controls machine, open the application, and have a look into the application menus. Now, if you open the mobile extern application here in your terminals, you can access to this machine. You have to create a new, let me give a pen. Oh. You have to create a new SSH session. In Movistar, you have to go to this option, create new SSH session, and then introduce the training user and the controls 06. So once everybody have logged in into the terminal, we will open the application. A password. Yes, and you can start by verifying.
Anyone has any issue to connect to the machine with this user? This is. Okay, so I understand that anyone has any problem to connect. I will put the next slides. If anyone needs another time this information, please tell me, okay? So once you are inside this machine with this user, you can open Panic only executing the command Panic. You should see the Panic GUI as the image in the slides.
SSH, lo que siempre es cifra todo, siempre comprobar que para su mente no la recuerda. Bien, padre. Porque son máquinas que ya son preparadas. Esto voy a preguntar Això és un indicador de que la oferta que aquesta màquina ha canviat des de l'última.
Everyone is in panic.
Well, in principle, if everyone succeeded, if any of the people online has any kind of problem, please write it in the chat.
I had to connect through a control room machine because from my Linux computer at the office, it didn't work.
That's strange, but you are connected. Okay.
Now, yes, because I connected through Caligula.
Okay. And the rest of people, everyone is connected and able to work with Panic. Okay. So now.
I don't manage, sorry.
Yes.
I don't manage.
You have not even been able to connect using
No.
Citrix Workspace.
No.
Okay.
I can write in the. Okay, I will write to you in the chat what I get.
Yes, you can write in the chat, or if you send screenshots of what you have in the screen to Julian Rodriguez on Zoom, he can cross-check what the problem may be.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pending to chat with you, okay, during the explanation.
Then also during the coffee break, if you want, Javier, you can share your screen and we will try to solve it. Okay. Then going to the first contact with Panic, you see the application. In the application, there are different elements. We have the toolbar at the top, in which we have different options. File will allow us to export the state of the alarms to a CSV file, for example. In tools, you will have access to Jive, Pastor, Tango Browser, the tools that have been described previously by Uriel. And also we have the different options of Panic. There are the phone book, I will explain later, but we have access to create plots, so we can plot attributes directly from Panic. advanced configuration, and the alarm list. In the alarm list, you see different colors. These colors are ordered by severities. We have different severities that are typically alarm, warning, information, or debug. Depending on the color, each alarm will be higher or lower in the list. We will, for the alarms of the same severity, we will sort them by activation time. And in the case somebody acknowledges an alarm, it goes directly to the bottom. We have the filters. You can check out the filters, you can double click. Now, the focus of this exercise is to be touching and testing and opening with, you can do right click on the panic on top of an alarm to see which options you have. Just go touching and playing with the application and trying to see which options are available. It's important. Now we are just playing with the application, try to not modify anything. Because later on we will go to the exercises. If you try to modify something, you will see that you will be asked for a user and a password. We will explain that, but later, but before we give you some time to play with the alarms, also see which alarms are declared, look at the formulas, look at the different parameters.
Who can access to the password?
Actually, only the people that we controls have added as admin users for this system. Now we have added all of you to the training system. Now, then in a typical new business, we have the control user, we have the OPBL user of the beamline, but we can also add individuals, because also we have the people on call and so on. So ideally, we should have a generic for each beamline. We have a predefined list of the people who are admin, and then this people is the one that is able to modify. There is a second way. Somebody told me yesterday that didn't work, but it should work. So if it doesn't work, we can do it. If you, as a receiver of the alarm, the creator of the alarm puts here names of users as emails, the people that receive the email should be always able to modify the alarm. The idea is if you're a receiver of an alarm, you should be able to see. So one way to put, we will have the list of admin users that can change everything in a system of panic. And then we have the specific receivers of the alarm. If you have your email here, you should be able to change.
You say if you are a receiver, you can change the formula of the alarm.
Exactly. If you are a receiver, if you have been added as a receiver of the alarm with your personal account, for example, if you are receiving 100 messages during the night, you should be able to acknowledge, reset, and modify. Because in theory, you are one of the persons that is related to the alarm.
Okay, solve it.
It's the connection problem of Javier.
It has panic open. We are all in the same situation.
When at the control room, the people that we are receiving alarms, what we normally do is create a filter in the Thunderbird mail application, so all the alarms go to the same folder.
That is true.
Because it can be really a mess.
Yes. But the thing is that in the future, we know that especially for beamlines, all these admin users for panic and being able to change or not change the application is complicated. Any suggestion on how to improve the application is always welcome. Now we have these two systems, either a global admin or an alarm admin, but we can find intermediate solutions. Okay, well, you will see if you open the application, you will have seen that you have the editor of the alarm, that we have the advanced configuration, we have different options. And now we will proceed with this next slide. This is also, if you have Telegram in your phones, we will be testing the alarms, the exercises using Telegram. So you can use this QR code to add yourself to a Telegram group for the workshop.
Carlos will contact you because in the on-call
No, because I have to configure it. Actually, I had, he told me to take the on-call phone, so I can configure it these days.
Okay, because I remember that last year I started one of them.
You don't have the on-call phone here now, no? We can do it in the coffee break. We can do the configuration.
Okay.
And then it will be done.
So now for the exercise, right? Yeah.
Yes, for the next exercises. Play with the application. If you have Telegram, this Telegram group is specific for the workshop. Okay. And later on, when we will do the exercises, we will do again a review of the cycle. Okay. The panic alarm cycle, this is explained in a different way, but basically what you have to remember is that the switch from norm to not acknowledge is always following this activation point period alarm threshold. And then we have the return to normal whenever the result of the formula changes, the acknowledgement and the shelf space. So coming back to the widgets, anybody has any question? We will introduce the functionality of the widgets during the exercises, but if anybody wants to ask something online.
For the moment, not.
Okay, all of you have been able to open these different widgets that we see here.
No.
Okay.
You can do a real demo after the break.
Yes. Well, later on during the exercises, we will be opening and then we will use the application to show them. So here are some examples of formulas. I will do a cross check also. You have in the cheat sheet, you have these examples of formulas also out there. Basically, to know that, as we have seen in the real presentation, we always use the Tango device naming. So it's always domain, subsystem, member, and attribute name. So when we talk about devices, we are talking about the three first fields of the name, and then the attribute, it's here temperature. We can have the alarm zone values, on quality. The quality is basically when you have in applications that some values change color. This color means that the alarm flag is activated. So when you have you're looking at the user interface of a beam light and you see that some values change to orange, you can set directly the alarm to the color change. This is the second example. We can also check the delta, that is the increase of an alarm between of an attribute between two consecutive rates. We can compare also alarms and have an alarm that is enabled if other alarms are activated. And also we will have exercises regarding on how to use regular expressions to check, for example, for all the temperatures of a beam, instead of putting it all together. So this will be after the coffee break. So now I will leave here the Telegram group for the workshop for everyone. And we will do now a short coffee break. Well, we are a bit early on time. So I will propose to come back from the coffee break at 11:25. Okay. So that's the first part. Now we will start with the exercises.